Hi everyone, Nuju Metru here, bringing you BZPower's review of LEGO Set 71012, which is the Disney collectible minifigure series. This is only one of a couple series that LEGO has released of the minifigures, which are theme-specific, I guess. These all being characters from Disney and Disney Pixar movies and cartoons. There are 18 of them. LEGO shipped me an entire box of these, which I'm very grateful for. But obviously, I'm going to have to open up quite a few until I find all the characters. So I'm going to open up as many of these as it takes to assemble the 18 minifigures, and then I'll let you know my thoughts on them. All right, let's get started. Well, I filled up my dance card. Ta-da! Here are all 18 of the Disney figures. We're going to look at them one by one. First up, we've got Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Uses the short leg parts, which have little paw prints on the bottom there. Pretty simple printing, as you can see on both front and back. This head element is obviously a new mold, which I think really accurately recreates Stitch from every angle. I love the little ear notches there. So a simple figure, but gets the job done. The little green man is probably the least, in my opinion, the least interesting of these new Disney figures, mostly because the mold and the design are the same or very similar to, I haven't referenced with the design, but the mold is exactly the same as we saw on Toy Story sets of the past. Another short figure. The only major difference I observe is there's some foot printing, which wraps around there. Back printing, very simple. Simple fig, but does get the character across, certainly, and but it's like things we've seen before. The other Toy Story figure included in the LEGO Disney set is Buzz Lightyear, who also uses some parts we've seen before, but there's some changes from the previous version of Buzz. First off, take a look at that side printing on the arms and the legs. It's beautiful, very intricate. Recreates a lot of the character. The jetpack and backpack, and I believe the screen here are all parts we've seen before on Buzz, but this is the first time we see him with a minifigure head, which is purple with some fleshy printing on it. It's, a fun representation of Buzz, or re-representation of Buzz. I think I personally preferred the version which had the sculpted head. It was a little bit more character accurate. I'm not sure why they decided to change things up here, but this version of Buzz is pretty good, and the printing is something else. Aladdin from Aladdin, no surprises there, only really has one new part, which is the hair with fez, swoopy hair with fez, which accurately recreates the hair and the hat of the character, but uses some nice printing on the legs. Again, wrap around on the feet, as you can see, and this dark fleshy color to recreate the character. There's some simple printing on the back of this purple torso, and Aladdin comes with the lamp from which the Genie obviously comes. I think it's a nice figure. I really like the choice of expression. I think it conveys the character quite well. Speaking of which, here's the Genie, or Genie. Portrayed as he was in the films by the late great Robin Williams. We got some medium blue torso and arms and hands and head. You can see there's some cuff printing. Those are the cuffs in which by which Genie is bound to be a slave. This headpiece here is two parts actually. There's a black feather which separates and has a gold base. Plugs right in there to this sort of eared hairpiece, which I guess you could use somewhere else, but it's pretty specific to Genie. There's the earring over on that side. The legs are a part we've seen before. So another fun Aladdin figure. Again, the expression conveys the character well, very zany and, looks like Genie. Most of these figures you're going to find, I think, are very good representations of their original Disney versions, and Genie is no exception. Here we have Maleficent of Sleeping Beauty? Sleeping Beauty. I'm not great with Disney princesses. As portrayed from I believe, the cartoon, not Angelina Jolie, although she does have excellent cheekbones, this version of Maleficent cool golden staff topped with a yellow gem. Some wonderful cape. You see it's purple on the inside here, but black on the outside. And this is a two-part cape. The interior of this also has purple on it. The headpiece is rubberized plastic, and it comes out. It's, the characteristic horns. Body has printing on the front. It's a dress part and torso. Loving the skin color, loving the printing. Retrospectively, I think Maleficent is probably my favorite of these figures, just because I think she cuts a really magnificent profile, and some of the parts, especially the cape, I could see myself using elsewhere. This is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. This figure comes with two new molds. There's the dress, which goes between the torso and the legs. It's sort of a swooshed out little skirt. I think it's a really nice mold. We're going to see that again later on Minnie Mouse. The hair is also a new part, which has a bow molded onto it. Alice comes with two accessories. Here's I think that's I haven't seen this movie for a long time, so I'm not sure what this prop is. I'd have to look that up. But she also has the bottle, Drink Me, which will change her size. So this figure also makes use of the Simpson-style double color arms, and there's some printed shoes which go around to the side there. Alice is a very pretty figure. I think recreates the character beautifully, and uses some nice color in it as well. And the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, bearing his signature little grin there. New head mold, of course. The tail is the same tail that was used on Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, only that it's a different color, of course. With some arm printing, leg printing, stripes all the way on the side there. Torso is fully printed to make that stripy appearance. I could easily see myself apprehending this torso and making a minifig with a striped sweater. Cheshire Cat is again, simple, short legs figure, with another head mold that is, I imagine, very difficult to use for anything other than the Cheshire Cat, so thorough is its resemblance. Here are the two ducks. We have Donald and Daisy Duck. I'm showing them together because they're more or less the same figure. Both have the same duck head mold. You might be fooled because the accessories on top here, this hat and Daisy's bow, are both removable. They're just attached with little pins like a feather or a friend's accessory. So the two ducks, they also both have these new molded little adorable ducktails in back. Both employ double color leg printing to make the feet discrete from the legs. Simple, sort of cartoony printing there on the torsos. Donald has the cuffs, the little sailor outfit. Daisy has dual color arms. I like the use of the Keat orange for you Bionicle fans out there, or yellowish orange, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what the Brinkley color is, but nice colors, nice representations of the figures. However, again, head molds, which I really could not see any other potential use for. The torsos are pretty standard and, I guess, simple, bland, you might even say. The ducktail I would love to find a use for, but beyond a person dressed as a duck or these duck characters, I really don't see much use for the parts these figures come with. Mickey and Minnie Mouse follow in the same sort of vein as the ducks in that they're essentially the same figure, aside from this skirt and the bow that Minnie has over Mickey. Both have printed legs, which are also dual colored, as you can see. Nice usage of that technique. And Minnie has here the arms double toned to make sleeves versus her mouse skin. The Mickey / Minnie head mold is, of course, new. Very famous silhouette there. And has a little hole in top for accessories. I appreciate that Mickey is brave enough to have no torso printing whatsoever. It's always nice to have more black torsos. And the new skirt part I would love to use on something else. However, these figures, while they're accurate representations of the characters, don't offer much to me other than these very character-specific elements. Mr. Incredible of the Incredibles family. Very fun figure. I really love the Incredibles movie, so it's great to see this character made in Lego form. You can see both dual molded legs and arms, red and black. You have the little superhero undies printed on there. Simple but effective torso, I think. This hairpiece is new, and I really like it. It's sort of got a, balding effect on the head. Nice color. I imagine that'll be applicable. And this printed tile, the nostalgic ad that, or newspaper clipping that Mr. Incredible has ticked up to his wall. It's great detail and fun little reference to the movie. And what's a superhero without his nemesis? Here we got Syndrome from The Incredibles, or formerly Incrediboy back in the olden days. New molded hairpiece in vibrant orange, sort of this flamey pattern, Also comes with a printed tile here, which is the blueprints for that robot from the movie. And as you can see, Syndrome also has some, I think, wonderful side printing here on the arms. That's a little comlink or whatever, one of his devices. And the boots even have printing around there. That's the jetpack boots. The legs are double molded, as are the arms. Here, I'll take a look at the other side. Similar printing here. I think Syndrome is one of the better detailed figures. I really love how it turned out. The blue eyes unnerve me a little bit. But it's consistent with the character, so I guess it was a choice that had to be made there. We got Peter Pan, who was one of my favorite characters when I was watching Disney movies when I was younger. I think it's a fun representation, although I did notice that the knife here is gold, and all the artwork or the promotional images of the series had Peter Pan with a silver or gray knife. Not a huge deal, in my opinion. Really fun figure, and I love the attention to detail here. I mean, obviously this head mold has ears and hair and the characteristic hat, all in one. Expression is vibrant, full of life, very Peter. Torso printing is nothing to write home about, but the arms are both dual molded and printed to make this lime into flesh, but also have the ragged edge there. The pants do the same thing, where they're both lime and sort of a nougaty, burnt orange color, but also have this printing on both the front and sides. So huge attention to detail to make the character look accurate, and employment of some very modern minifig techniques by Lego. You can't have Peter Pan without Captain Hook. So here's Hook. He's got a gigantic hat and hairpiece in one. Taken off, it's about as tall as he is. Got some printing there on the legs and also dual molded. I love the cuffs printed on the side of the arms, and of course he's got a hook. Basic to the point. Comes with that golden rapier, which is always nice to have. Good representation of the character, I think, and stylistically adheres to what Peter has established. Ursula here is a real event. Got a Atlantis pitchfork trident, hair with a gray streak printed on, violet face, arms, and it's in the back there printed on, also in the front with a golden shell necklace. Great detailing. The smile and the eyeshadow are perfect for the character. I think the most interesting part about Ursula is probably the lower body part, which curves up on either side of the torso. Makes me think sort of the Bomber figure from The Hobbit, where that headpiece also went all the way to the body to just give a little bit more bulk down there. Good representation of Ursula, and cool use of parts. Last but not least, we have Ariel, the Little Mermaid herself. She's got this clam with a jewel in it, which can't close with the jewel, but that's neither here nor there. Figure itself uses a new mold on this luscious red locks, and I believe that the mermaid tail is also new, although I could be mistaken. I think it's different from other mermaid tails we've gotten in the past. See how it's totally flat in front? That is, I think, different than versions we've gotten before. The expression is very Disney princess, printing on both the front and the back of the torso. Nice little strap for the clam bra. You know, it's very character accurate. I like the use of color, vibrant, and again, some great looking character work, but parts that I imagine are going to be not as easy to implement on other characters. Overall, I find the LEGO Disney figures to be an interesting sort of experiment, one which doesn't necessarily appeal to me, just given how many of these overwhelming number of new molds are extraordinarily character specific, and so very hard for me as a MOCer to apply elsewhere. I will concede that these are extremely fun and accurate representations of beloved characters, and I expect that the amount of money that LEGO poured into all the new molds will be pretty well recouped by the sales on these figures. I mean, two beloved brands meet, it's got to be a surefire win. There's some really cool innovations here, or display of innovations of printing and, multicolor molding and whatnot, just to make these characters as accurate as possible. And I think that LEGO's done a good job implementing the full range of their minifigure creating techniques on these 18 Disney figures. So if you're a fan of Disney and of LEGO, then these make, I think, some really fun display items and collectibles. However, if you're a MOCer and you're looking for new parts, while these, again, use a very astonishing breadth of minifigure design techniques, most of the parts, at least for me, aren't the kind of thing that I could use elsewhere, which is a bummer. Alright, thanks for watching. If you like what you see or want to read more, you can read the full text and image coverage of these figures on BZPower.com. You can also find more discussion, news, reference of various LEGO, anything you're looking for on BZPower. Check out our other videos, other reviews on this channel, and stay posted on BZPower for opportunities, maybe giveaways or ways to win versions of these figures. Again, thanks for watching.